Fabiola Giordani, CEO and founder of Happily Empowered Women. Thank you so much for joining us. I am excited to introduce to you Raeh. She is, say hi.
Hi.
She is the owner of two awesome businesses. Actually, she's a multi-passionate entrepreneur, lover of life, and doer of a lot of fabulous things, of course. You can find her at her website, I believe is RaehBrokerWilliams.com. Is that correct?
Just RaehRoker.com.
RaehRoker.com.
Mhm.
And her bio will actually be in the Google Hangout and also on our events page. Welcome.
Hi guys. Hi Fabiola.
Hi. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm on a little vacation, so I'm probably extra good right now.
That's awesome. All right. So let's get started with the awesome questions that I have for you to help empower our readers and those who are viewing. Tell
Mhm.
us a little bit more about your story and why you chose to start your business.
Well, I am from Nassau, Bahamas, and I'm born and bred in the Bahamas, been here all my life. Actually, right now I'm in Florida, which is where my mother lives currently. But as a little girl, I came from a family of entrepreneurs, so it was something that I always had in me. I went the traditional route, though, went to school, went to college, got a good job, and I've always had a quote unquote good job. And so even though I knew I had the gifts and the ability to be an entrepreneur, that fat paycheck that comes every 2 weeks or every month became really, really addictive. And I just, got into the whole cycle and I was living my life and doing what I figured I needed to do. And I had a pretty rough time. I went through a really bad relationship and breakup and just some crap. And I started a personal development journey. And all of that kind of brought me full circle. It helped me to understand a little bit more about who I was and my gifts, and I guess tap into the fact that, I am awesome and I'm fabulous and I have so much to offer the world. And so it's been a long journey. There have been some really hard, tough lessons. There have been some really hard decisions that I've had to make. But I finally, I mean, it's been forever and ever. I'm knocking on 40 soon, and it's been a long journey, but I finally gotten it, and it's really come from kind of getting to the lowest point you could think of, and just realizing that something has to change, and I finally got there, and so here I am.
Yay! And by the way, you do not look anywhere close to 40. You look
Well,
fabulous.
that is awesome. Listen, that's awesome. Let's keep it that way.
Yes. And your story is so remarkable. A lot of women sometimes experience those things and they don't remember that they have the power to get out of that situation. And I love that you decided to, let your light shine and say yes to yourself.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about your business or businesses, because I know you own an events planning company as well.
Well, I was looking for some extra money. I had actually started blogging, I think maybe about 2007 or 8 or 2008, something like that. And this was actually when I was finished this whole journey that I went through, personal development. I started blogging for motivational reasons. I just wanted to share what I was learning with people. And so I kind of accidentally started building an email list, but I couldn't figure out how, that could be a business. How is motivation or how is blogging a business? So I just couldn't make that connection. So for many years, I was trying to figure out how can I make some extra money? Like, I'm over this job. I need to do something. I know I'm gifted, but I can't figure it out. And I had this wacky idea to do candy bars, which is like, like dessert bars for weddings and stuff like that. And I, came up with the whole idea, got the logo, got the whole business cards, everything, did a quote for somebody, got my first gig, and it was horrible. I spent my whole Friday and Saturday prepping everything, making sure everything was in place for the event on Sunday, and after I did it, I was like, hell no, there's no way I am standing up on my feet for the whole day, just to do this thing, and I may make like 200 or 300 bucks off of it. It was like hell no. So it brought me to think about other small businesses that probably were going through the same thing, and how is it that I could get these people, or how can I show them how to make a whole lot more money? And I came up with this event, and we called it Sugar Rush. And basically, we brought all of these small vendors together, and it was a hit. And so I started the events company from that. And although we do all sorts of other events, trainings, conferences, right now we have a training conference coming up for social media managers, also something for contractors, small contractors. I mean, it varies what we do, but it really was a mix of my motivation, wanting people to be able to have more, do better, as well as just being naturally a good organizer and somebody who can put something together really well, really tight, and with a whole attitude of excellence. So that's where the whole event thing came from for me.
Wow, that's amazing. By just testing it out really gave you a chance to recognize, before you invested so much money and time into it and say, whoa, I like the concept, but I don't like the fact that I have to be here all the time. And
No,
that's
that
really
was
good.
horrible. Yeah, and that happens to a lot of people. You don't get a chance to validate your business. You invest so much into it, and then it's like, whoa, do I really want to be doing this? So I'm glad that I had the chance to stop and turn it in a different direction.
And that's awesome because I was checking out your website and I saw that you had a conference, and we'll get to the next question, but I really want to dive deeper into your story. You had an online webinar about entrepreneurs who want to be entrepreneurs, and I love that because a lot of people, and I don't know what you taught because it was already passed, but I'm sure you talked about the part where people need to test things out and iterate along the way,
Yeah.
and not because when we get passionate about something, we dive so deep into it,
Oh,
spend so much money and time. Then when it doesn't work, we're like, oh man, I knew I should have just kept my normal 9 to 5 and just chill.
right, and the thing is, it becomes discouraging,
Yes.
and it can set you back more than anything. So, yeah, that's important.
That's awesome. So I have a question for you about why do you believe that it's important for women to accept their inner power and create the life that they love?
Well, I think that women are largely feelers. Even the most logical woman tends to operate with their feelings, and we seem to have a connection to our intuition naturally, sometimes even without honing it or learning what it is. Women are connected, I believe, to emotions and spiritually in a different way than men are. Maybe it's similar, but I know for women, and from my experience, it's strong. And when that is out of balance and it's out of whack, you tend to just feel tired and you feel discouraged, and you're not able to serve the world at large, your community, your family, your business, whoever it is, the people that you associate with. You're not able to bring your best self to the table because you're not able to move in the flow of your, inner feminine power because you're dealing with all this noise, this job, this boss you can't stand, the drama at work or whatever else is going on because in your mind that's what you have to do to survive. So if you can, as a woman, connect to your inner strength and your inner power and feel good about what you're doing and feel good about the life you're creating, it really, really serves everybody on a much higher level. I mean, the you know that women are excellent organizers. We're really
Yes.
good at making sure that they're done well. We are really good at giving our all to things. And so, can you imagine when you feel alive and you feel happy and you feel empowered about something, how much more you can give as opposed to just doing it because you have to do it to collect a check? So I think that's so important because then it makes all of us better. It makes our families better. It makes our kids better. It makes the world a better place because now we're giving all of everything that God has put in us to the world.
You are just in my mind right now, just
Yes.
sharing, and I love it because one of the things that I'm sure you know, as going through a personal development journey for yourself, is finding out your voice. And when God talks, you listen. But sometimes when there's so much things crowding in your mind, you
Yes.
don't know what voice is talking to you.
Listen, it is so true.
Yeah, and then it really clouds your judgment, and especially because there are a lot of women out there making great money in a position where they can leave their job and start something they want, or start something on the side and see if it works for them. But
Mm-hmm.
they're not willing to try just because of fear. And it's like knowing what you can do, knowing your gifts, makes you so powerful. Like when I coach, while I'm doing this, anything that I do towards my business, I'm alive. I just feel like I'm on fire.
Exactly, and that's what the world needs. That they don't want a tired version or fed up version or you or the version of you that is not in the mood to, say anything pleasant or do anything nice for anybody. Nope, the world doesn't need that. We need this.
Exactly. We need a lot more of this.
Mhm.
Definitely. And I love that answer. So I wanted to ask you, what are some of the challenges that you've overcome throughout your journey, especially in your life and in your business, of course?
Well, just going right back to what you just said, the whole thing for me, challenge wise, was really myself. I was the biggest stumbling block ever. You know what I mean? Everything else is doable. The logistics of a business and the details of the paperwork and the machine itself. Those are things that are doable. Those are things that even if you can't figure out, somebody can help you. You can pay for somebody to do it.
Yep.
So those were not really challenges for me. The challenge has always been Raeh and how do I get out of my own way? How do I get out of my head? How do I let go of fear and fear of failure and fear of judgment? And how do I let go of, feeling insecure and thinking, oh, I'm not gonna succeed because I look this way or I don't have those connections or I'm from the Bahamas and I talk different from everybody in this group. And I met you through the program that we're doing, and one of the struggles that I had when I first joined, I think I did that in 2011 or 12 for the first time, and I could not find any brown girls. There was maybe two.
Oh, wow.
Like really and truly, it was they didn't have the how they have all the groups now that are all specialized. They didn't have that. So
Oh,
I didn't have any connection, and I always struggled because I knew that I was learning so much, and I looked at it and I was like, but these women are, middle class America or upper class. I don't know how you guys figure it out, but in my mind, again, this whole fear and the insecurity about the fact that these are white women who have privilege of some kind that I don't have. And so that was my own insecurity, though, had nothing to do with them at all. So those were the kind of challenges that I had, but they were all self-inflicted, and they were all challenges that I had to look within to fix, and they weren't anything exterior. They weren't anything to do with, everyday business and the machine itself. So those are the biggest things. But even my addiction to this check, I this is 2014, and I have just in this all of this stuff that I've gone through. I've read every book under the sun. I've done every course, every program. I've trained myself to be highly excellent to do what I need to do, but still holding on because I don't want to let go of the certainty. And what if I don't have this, and what if I can't do that? And I've just gotten over it. You know what I mean? So I've been my biggest stumbling block, and I'm happy to say that I've finally gotten past it.
and that's amazing because it doesn't matter how long it takes you, it's just you have to get over
Yeah.
that.
Hmm.
And for me, I've had that too where I'm like, I'm not a certain size, I'm not a
Yep.
certain height, I'm not a certain anything. And I was talking to my friend earlier and I was telling her I have so much experience that, because we have so much experience throughout life that we don't factor in when we're starting our business. We're like, well, I need, not that education and getting more knowledge is not important. It truly is when you're starting a business and in life. But what happens is we get stuck into the idea, oh, let me get more, let me get this training, let me get it here because I don't feel comfortable enough. But it's really you. It's when you're ready. When you say yes, everything else follows. And
Right.
I love that.
I'm sure that if you think about the trainings that you have done, I know for me, I do them, and I'm usually, I learn along the way,
Yeah.
and I'm not discounting that, but I'm usually like, I knew this. Like, why am I sitting here doing this? The community is always good,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, it's usually, I always look back and I'm like, why? What's the problem? You already knew this stuff, you know?
Yeah. And it's good to have the reminders, but it's also coming from us saying, okay, enough is enough. I'm
Yep.
just done. Because I know that, some of the people that I speak to and coach, and it's like they're stuck in the idea that they can't get it done, but it's like you already know what you need to do. So
Yeah.
you just have to take that step. And that's awesome that, you're finally letting go of the steady paycheck soon.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that actually. It's okay to have it if it allows you to do what you want to do, it's fine.
Yeah, and it has served me. But one of the things, and I think you probably saw this conversation that we had in the group, was, for me, especially, I've been doing, these little webinars and trainings and stuff, and I have a lot of people that have looked up to me for advice and they're inspired by me. And one of the things that I always struggle with is how the hell am I telling you to go out there, follow your dreams, live your passion, do all of this stuff, and I'm still afraid to let go? Because that's the only thing keeping me there. It's not that this check is serving me so much more than anything else, or I love it, because I don't love it. I hate it. So yes, I get it. If it works for you, it works for you. But if it doesn't work for you, then especially being in the space of somebody who is wanting to coach and train other people, looking at it authentically. What am I saying to you?
Yeah.
And then what am I doing? So that was one of the biggest things for me too.
Most definitely. But and before we move to the next question, it's something that women struggle with in general, and that's the reason why I wanted to start this campaign, or whatever you want to call this movement, because I want to remind women that you're powerful enough. And what is it called? The Imposter Syndrome is that, we feel like, oh man, I don't have enough training, I don't have this. And it's like, let me tell you, men do not deal with this. They could care less. You can ask any man in your life right now if they know about ABC. They will know it like this. They may not know it, but they're going to say they know it, and they're going to go confidently towards it and
they will
figure it out later.
They will ask you for top dollar for it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, they sure
and
will.
They don't, without knowing that they don't know, they will still ask you for top dollar and not even blink.
Yes.
And we can have trained and studied and learned that over and over, and we will still be coy about certain things. And so, yeah, it's an interesting phenomenon.
And I'm hoping to write about that and how people can just get over it. But it really is something that we need to, and that's a great part of knowing yourself and your power.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go on to the next question, because we really want to know more. I know you shared a lot of great insight. What's the best advice that you can give a woman, who wants to start living out their dreams, whether it's starting a business or what have you?
I think the best advice is to probably just say go ahead and do it. One of the things that has propelled me is starting before I was ready. I'm a perfectionist. I think just that's a woman thing, I find. And even women that aren't perfectionists, if you don't feel ready, that's my advice. Start before you're ready. And if you have to start small, because it's going to get the momentum going. It's going to start you and it's going to propel you in the right directions, as opposed to I'm waiting for everything to be right. I mean, I can tell you about countless stories of things that have not gone right. And I planned to do, for example, this year I was supposed to be launching classes and all this stuff, and my website wasn't up to date, and I had issues because I was off for almost a year, sick last year. So I'd just gone back to work, and I was like so much going on, new baby, just a whole hell of a lot. And so I couldn't get everything done. And I was like, okay, I'll wait until next month. And then February rolled around, and I was like, maybe I'll wait until next month. And something said to me, no, you're committed to yourself to do it. Go ahead and start. And because of that, I finally got the momentum going, and I got, the feedback that I needed to get. I got also my own self. I got out of my head some more, and I started to realize this isn't as difficult as you're making it. So I think really just doing and starting and putting one foot in front of the other and making something happen, and take some time away from talking about it with other people and planning it out, and going on Facebook and reading articles and articles and articles and doing trainings and trainings. Put one foot in front of the other and start to do it. If it's a business that you need, X amount of customers for it to work, and you only have 0.5 X amount of customers, start with the 0.5. You know what I mean? If you have to start with maybe a beta group, and you start with 3 people as opposed to the 100 that you want, start with the 3, because you're never going to get to the 100 if you don't start somewhere. That's the best advice. It's very simple, but I think we miss that, and we spend forever planning and trying to organize things and trying to have a perfect website and a perfect logo and a perfect tagline, a perfect brand and all this stuff, and we're not doing any work. So just get started.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I know a lot of us struggle with, anybody, where we go into the circle of not, like, what is it called? The roll cul-de-sac? The creative
Yeah.
cul-de-sac. You just keep going. It's like, because I remember, because I'm working on projects and I'm like, wait, what should I title it? Something told me, stop worrying about the title, worry about the work, worry about what you're going to share with the world, then it will come to you. Like, when I first started blogging and I wanted to, start my coaching business, it took me like a month to come up with a name. I don't even know why it was important. When I actually let go and just started putting in the work, doing my website and things like that, the
Right.
name popped into my head. I was like, Happily Empowered Woman. This is
Awesome.
it. And
Awesome.
yeah, and sometimes we forget that it will come to us, and sometimes you have to step away from things.
Yeah.
And I love that you took the time off, and I'm glad that you're better too.
Thank
Um,
you.
you're welcome. And that you're back on it and saying, I'm really committed. And commitment is really important. It's something that a lot of us forget that we need to make it in any business and anything in life. Yeah.
I just it is not there are some difficult days. There are some dark people are going to shut you down. People are going to ignore you. People are going to make fun of you. People are going to judge you, I mean, strongly. And sometimes it hurts your feelings. And sometimes it's very discouraging, and you don't want to even, face it, and you feel like giving up. Like, in your heart of hearts, I know for me, that's happened, where in my heart of hearts, I've been crushed. I'm not going to pretend otherwise, but the reality is I can't let those things control my life, because we have this thing. um, our power company in the Bahamas is called BEC, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I always say to my husband, I'm like, listen, they're not going with me to BEC, so who cares what the hell they have to say about it? Unless you come in with me to BEC to help me pay my light bill or help me pay my mortgage or whatever the hell it is I have going on, you're not doing anything to assist me. You just want to cut me down. So I have to be very careful that I don't take that on. So for all women, we're sensitive about our stuff, because
Yes.
we put ourselves into it. So don't let people cut you down. Look at the criticism. Sometimes you may need to tweak some things, but don't take it to heart. And the same thing, about praise. I say that too. Don't take praise and don't take criticism to heart. Accept them for what they are, and there's nothing wrong with accepting it and being thankful for it, but you don't need to take it to heart, because it can be a distraction.
Yeah.
Even the praise, it can be a distraction, because you don't know where that person is coming from. Very often it's very sincere and genuine, but at the same time, you don't want it to distract you from doing what it is that you need to do. So many people tell me about, for example, this event that I did. It was so wonderful. You should do this often. Or when are we going to see the next one? And everybody's, into it. For me, I know that it needs to happen once a year. So even the praise that I get for it, if I'm not careful, I can get distracted and say, oh, everybody loves it. Let me go ahead and do it twice a year or 3 times a year. And then I take away the value that I want to keep. I want there to be scarcity to what I'm doing. But I could take that praise and think, oh, this is off the chain. Let me go ahead and keep doing it. So you have to be very careful. I think that's something that women need to remember, because, again, the whole feelings thing, right? That validation that we get from other people. So definitely pay attention to that. Be careful that you don't let it discourage you as well as distract you.
Yes. And it is a big distraction, especially when you're getting praise all the time and you forget that there are changes that need to be made. There are people who are unhappy with your services or whatever, or what have you, and that will actually help you get there. It's just you can't hold on to it. Why do you think celebrities are still celebrities? It's because they don't let every magazine tabloid get to them. Because if they did, there would be no movies, there would be no music, and entertainment in the world. So that's awesome. So I want to ask you one final question, because we all want to know, what projects do you have coming up? Share with us.
Well, I have some great events. I touched on those a little bit already. And I have been working on a training program that I haven't launched, but I'm going to start a beta group very soon, probably in September. And starting to look for people. If anybody's interested, basically, I'm looking at doing a lot of online business strategy training, um, teaching people how to get their business online, how to make money from it, not just have a website out there and it's not doing anything for you. Also teaching people how to use social media to their advantage, teaching people how to use things like blogging and email lists, etc., as well as some of the basic business training and strategy and how to put yourself out there so that you get something back from it, how to use your gifts, how to monetize, basically how to monetize, because at the end of the day, that's the whole goal of business. If you want to do things for fun, that's a hobby. But if you want to make some money, it's a business. So how do I go from, because I've been there, how do I go from, okay, I have these gifts, people come to me for advice, I always give them good advice, they're so happy, but nobody's paying me, right? So how do we bridge that gap so that we can successfully take our gifts, make a living, again, like you said, get into your power as a woman, and also for the guys too. But how do you make money off of your gifts? So I'm putting it together. It's something that I'm really excited about. I also have a product that I've been working on for a long time, and it's called Brown Girl Box, and it's a subscription service. And we're going to have a little brown girl box and a brown mommy box. And we are hoping to launch in December. If you go to my website, raeroker.com/browngirlbox, you can sign up to be on the wait list for all the details. We have a website, but I don't think it's populated yet. So if you go there and you don't see anything, which is Brown Girl Box, you go to raeroker.com/browngirlbox, and you just put in your information and we'll send it out. That is something that I'm really passionate about because I have a daughter now, but even before then, one of the things that I noticed in the Black community is that we promote a lot of superficial things. Hair, makeup, I mean, it's everywhere for Black girls, everywhere. There is every tutorial on makeup and hair and nails, etc., etc. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm all about fabulous. I'm so extra, so wonderful, right?
Yeah.
But there's more to it. And so the Brown Girl Box really is a combination of some of the beauty things as well as some learning tools. And for the little brown girl, I want to introduce them to things like science and math and some unusual things and things that people don't seem to be targeting toward our young Black girls that are so smart and so intelligent and so gifted. And even the same thing, online business coaching, we can start to plant
Wait, hello?
these seeds and then.
Okay. You're freezing a little bit. So you're saying planting the seeds. Go ahead.
Yeah, plant the seeds in the young women. So the Brown Girl Box is basically the whole girl, and then we have a little bit of health information there. So I just think it's something that we need. I know where I am in the Bahamas, we definitely need it, and I'm sure there's some other places in the world that could use it. I have a partner here in the U.S., and so we've been working on being able to ship it from the Bahamas. Within the Bahamas, ship it within the U.S. as well as Canada. So I'm really, really excited about that project. And then the last thing is basically the blog, the events, everything is online. Sugar Bay Events is the name of my event company. We have a whole lot of revamping to do, but we're working. The whole thing of starting before you're ready. Like I have events already lined up and booked, etc. They're not on the website, and sometimes I'm like conflicted about it because I'm like, oh, I don't have everything lined up. I don't have my T's crossed and my I's dotted yet, but I don't let it stop me. I just keep going, and we'll catch up. So there's a whole lot going on, but if you go to my website, raeroker.com, you typically can find out. I'm on Facebook. Look for me on Facebook, Raeh Roker. You can add me, follow me. And I'm on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter as much as I need to be. I'm on Instagram. I'm Raeh Fabulous Honey. I'm on Instagram as Raeh Fabulous, and on Twitter as Raeh Fabulous. And on Facebook, I am Raeh Roker Williams.
Awesome. And I will share all of that on our Google Plus because they need to know. I
Yeah,
am so interested about this brown girl box. We have to do that. That is amazing.
yeah, man. It's listen. I'm so excited about it. I'm doing an event called Sugar and Spice on the 21st of June in the Bahamas. I'm hoping to take it some other places, so maybe we can talk about that, Fabiola, because again, it goes to, we want our brown girls to be empowered. I'm doing a tweens age from 8 to 13, and we're going to talk about health and beauty, but from an inside-out perspective. We're going to talk about non-traditional careers and entrepreneurship, self-confidence, self-love. There's going to be like yoga, and we have like a natural there's a company called Natural Life. They're going to come and do some health coaching and stuff, teaching them how to keep their bodies well from the inside out. So I want to really, really try and shift the attention starting with our young girls, because I didn't have it growing up. And we always say, if I knew this when I was 17 or when I was coming out of school at 19, I would have been so far ahead. So that's my goal. Let's give them a head start. Since we now know, let's teach them, right?
Yes, and I love that, and that's what we should all be doing. It's not about just our community, and I love that you're extending it to everywhere, because all of our children need to know, and I'm always breathing this into my daughters, that you're going to make something of yourself.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, anybody who's watching, my kid will not be working in corporate America. I refuse, because I want her to do what makes her happy and to be creative. Because if it doesn't work, if it doesn't work, then fine, go to corporate America. But don't do that as your first option, because we were so fed the idea that you go there, you get an education, and then you retire with a gold watch or whatever they always tell us.
Yes.
Why would you wait till your 80s to travel? That's ridiculous. Why would you wait till your 70s to enjoy what you really love? You should be doing it. That's the purpose of life. The purpose of life is to live. And I love that. Please keep us updated, because I really want to share the brown girls and everything that you're doing, because our young ladies need to know that there's more to life than, our blocks. We need to know more than our city. We need to know the world. That's the point.
Yes. So listen, it's official. Sugar and Spice. We're coming wherever Fabiola is right now. Fabiola, we're coming to see you, okay? We're coming.
Please come.
We have to do it.
Awesome. Sugar and Spice. Well, do you have anything else that you want to share before we end tonight?
No, I just want to encourage everybody. I'm so proud that the Happily Empowered Women movement is something that I could have been a part of, and I just want to encourage everybody to connect with you. Make sure that you're on the list that Fabiola has. Make sure that you're following her on Facebook. You're on her page, because she's awesome. She has lots to share with the world. And, there's this saying that says, a rising tide lifts all ships. And I think for a long time, and we still see it, our own insecurities cause us to tear each other down. And a lot of times, too, I had this syndrome, right? You would kind of watch people from afar. So, like, you see them, and it's like, you like what they're doing, you dig it, but you don't necessarily support it. You don't necessarily share it. That kind of way, right? I don't know about anybody else, right? Because I must be the only person in the world.
No.
Right? I'm just going to take that one since nobody knows. But I want to encourage you guys to let's get over that, and let's start to empower ourselves and empower each other. You know what I mean? Join the movement that she has. Tell your friends. Share the information with them. And whatever it is that you have to offer the world, light it up, because again, a rising tide lifts all ships. So if you do better, then I can do better also. If I do better, I can help you do better. Fabiola's doing better. Here it is. She's helping me do better. And there's another saying that says, one candle lighting another takes nothing from the first candle. So if you have a light and you give that light and share that with somebody else, it doesn't take anything from you. No. All you've done now is help to illuminate the world even more. So shine bright. Give your gifts to the world. Find your power. Be happy and empowered, man. Listen, Fabiola has the answers for you guys. I need y'all to connect with Homegirl, because I'm going to be sitting there listening too. All right? I got my little sparkling water here, and I'm tuned in, girl. I'm tuned in.
Yay! Thank you so so much. You are amazing. I love your fire. Like, it's awesome. Let it burn, girl. Let it burn.
Yes.
You guys give me life. This is why I want to do it, because I want other women to know that we are out here. We are
Yeah.
here making a difference in the world, and you can too. No matter what you decide to do, you have the power to do that.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. And of course, this will be recorded for those who weren't able to make it. So feel free to share it with your community as well. And again, the information, yay! The information will be shared, your information. And I love your quotes. Oh my gosh, I've been trying to write them down. So I'm going to watch this over and quote you all up in Facebook and give you credit, of course.
Awesome. Thank you, darling.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. And I really appreciate it. And enjoy your vacation.
Thank you. And listen, I have to say this, right? Big up to the Caribbean woman, Fabiola, my girl from Haiti. I'm from the Bahamas.
Yeah. This was awesome, and your hair is fabulous, girl. I need you to take some pictures. Matter of fact, call me. I will take some of your shots for you. Okay.
Here we go. I could have done this. I could have done this. I'm going to get it together.
But next time you come back, we'll do that.
Awesome.
All right. Well, have a good night.
All right, you too. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.